Why does everyone believe a lie, and what makes them buy into something when even the facts prove otherwise? The answer is repetitive messaging. If you inundate someone with repetitive messaging, whether that messaging is in images that they see over and over again, or in slogans that they see over and over again, you are hacking into the subconscious mind, which the subconscious mind does a scan, and it does it faster than any of our conscious mind could comprehend. And it is seeing, what is the pattern I'm noticing among the herd? Well, it looks like everybody is drinking a coffee. I see lots of coffee images over and over and over and over and over and over again. What's another image I see again? Ooh, red wine, smiling teeth, beautiful women having red wine, bam, 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 bam. And then when you have certain slogans like, these are safe and effective, these are safe and effective, these are safe and effective, you just take it for granted as that is a fact, because it's actually just a repetitive message that has kind of been honed in on, and that your subconscious mind, which is more powerful than your conscious mind, and your subconscious mind leads your decisions. So you're going to think, if your subconscious mind has been convinced of something, it's going to be tough for anyone else, any other part of you to fall in line, because you've gotten a heavy dose of repetitive messaging. And so this is the point, is when people are emphasizing to you to get off the media, we're not just doing that because it's like, get off your screens and get off the blue light and have a wonderful life and remember nostalgia, remember 2005, remember just being free and running around in nature. It's not just, we're not actually, that's not our emphasis. It's actually because you are getting a steady diet of repetitive messaging, and that is a mind control hack right into your subconscious mind, and what it thinks are facts are just repeated slogans over and over and over. And of course your conscious brain hears this and says, oh no, not me, I'm not fooled by anything, how dare you, I'm smug and I'm smart and that's not me, I can't be duped. Okay, well, you need to learn how your brain works so that other people cannot manipulate you. If you live your life thinking that you're smarter and can't be duped and having this level of conceit, you're going to be hacked, because you have no curiosity, you have no open-mindedness to consider that, hey, think about the psychopathic people you've dated. Think about the kinds of games they played. Now imagine what psychopaths are probably attracted to. They're probably attracted to positions of power, and they probably have been for hundreds of years. And so they probably are a group of psychopaths that have gotten together to control and to hack the human mind. Do you really want to live in the level of naive kind of benefit of the doubt to thinking that big corporations and other, just, the billionaires, the big tech, big pharma, do you really think that you are worth more to them alive and smart and empowered and independent? Or are you worth more to them when you are sick and spending money and weakened and manipulated by complete control of your subconscious mind? Do you really have this weird faith in humanity that makes you think that psychopaths aren't at the top levels? Psychopaths, they are notorious for getting in power positions, because by nature, that's the only, they want to be in an ongoing chess game. And so you've got to realize that they know how to, they have a huge amount of a control grid like you wouldn't believe, and you've got to at least consider that you are being hacked. You are being manipulated very well. You are not, you need to get out of this idea that you are smart. You're told that only told you're smart when you memorize facts by other people. For instance, in school, in college, when you write a paper, you have to cite all of the facts you raise, right? So you learn that your own brain and its own processing of facts is not enough. Always have some other person. But it's like, well, who's checking this other person? This could be somebody that said this, that has an agenda-driven, specific, like, arriving at the truth can get really muddy. The point is you might have thought that because you could memorize information and cite sources for papers and be a good little repeater, that means you're smart, right? That actually doesn't mean you're smart. That means you are a very good lapdog. You are obedient and you are good at rehashing what other people say and absorbing repetitive messages. Now, I know that you've been getting off on that ego of being obedient for a while, but you've got to realize that what is a strength in some cases is an extreme blind spot in others. So when you are exposed to repetitive messaging, like for instance, since March 2020, we have been inundated with slogans and images relating to you-know-what. And this does not correspond to the facts. And that is easy to see. Anybody can see that. When the death rate is the same or even less from year to year, that shows us, that is an undeniable fact, that we are not having this big, huge change in deaths. We are not. In fact, Canada had less deaths. And you have to be aware of the general fact that 3 million die a year in a normal year. You have to first be aware of facts like that. And I'm just using that as an example. I'm saying be aware of how many deaths there are per year in a normal year. And then look at last year. It's a really easy way to see, oh, my reality is being manufactured. The story being told about what's going on with deaths is different than, and the reason why you buy into the fact that you think this is a threat is because you get inundated with messages that repeat slogans and repeat fear, but it's not even, it's honestly like a barrage of just indirect kind of like, it's like a hypnosis of saying affirmations, except they're the opposite of affirming. They're actually, chaos and fear driven. And so when you're getting repetitive messages, when you're getting notifications on your phone, when you're getting the same messages on all the news stations, and then you're also getting that when you go on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they all drive home the same ideas like a big groupthink squad. You've got to realize, you've got to look at that as a smarter person and think, oh, look at what they're trying to do. Look at what they're trying to make me think today. Look at what they're spoon feeding me. Look at this repetitive messaging campaign over and over and over again. Now, you can tell the people who work in advertising who don't even know this. You can tell because they vary and they think they have to keep coming up with new slogans and that's going to be persuasive. It's not. The truth is they did this kind of barrage of same messages and then the same images over and over again. That would actually be really effective to our subconscious mind. If we, when fashion companies just keep having the novelty, the newness, I mean, of course we want to have some novelty in our looks and our fashion and our style, but it's actually, if they just had the repetitive messaging of a particular person over and over again, I bet that would be actually more effective because it's really hacking into the subconscious mind, like, wow, I've seen this person over and over and over and over again. And that's the thing, is just like the most evil person of all time says, when you have the big lie, you just keep repeating it over and over again. Well, you've got to think about the big lie. You've really got to think about when somebody is constantly repeating. And it's not just messages and slogans too, let's keep in mind, it's also images. And now, a great example of a repetitive image we get in culture is coffee, 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 coffee. You start any movie, and I mean any movie, and there's so many visual cues of people drinking coffee, coffee cup in the background, a coffee maker in the background. I mean, there's just, it's just, we're inundated with coffee. And so our subconscious mind is like, the subconscious mind does a scan and thinks, this is what the humans are doing. They're worried about what since March. And they drink a lot of coffee. And so if I want to fit into a group, I do a quick scan, and it doesn't have any of this. This is all subconscious, like it's faster than lightning. It's not like you're actually deliberating. It's just, this repetitive message is truth. So you've got to kind of be aware so you can't be hacked, so you can't be manipulated. It's the most useful thing you can do for yourself, is to be aware of what is a repetitive message. I notice too, when I'm given a communications toolkit for work, and they have me, these are the acceptable language to use in this advertising post, I'll notice that when a separate organization does it, they'll often have the same types of very broad kind of rainbow unicorn, very broad but very indirect, not saying anything, kind of slogans repeated over and over again. And whenever I see that, I think this isn't very good copy. I used to think this is very ineffective because it's not telling me anything. It's not direct. It's not offering a solution. It's not really, it's kind of talking over something, and I don't find it, like I would be very, well, I should rewrite this so it's better. And then now I'm thinking, oh, actually those were actually master manipulators. Those were people that knew how to hack the subconscious mind because they had that repetitive wording that was all warm and fuzzy and emotionally centered and very really indirect, and actually coding something that could be bad with this kind of fluffy language, very flowery. And now I think, okay, so that I actually zero in on that even more because I'm more aware, and I'm so glad I am, because otherwise I would just be thinking, I would be mistaking repeated images as fact and repeated slogans as fact, when in fact they are just a way of hacking into your subconscious mind. So let's try to be more discerning, and let's get curious about how our mind works and the fact that we can be duped, we can be manipulated, but we don't want to be, and we want to be smart, and we want to overcome this constant barrage of mind control. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope it was a good video.